that criticism is accurate.
Well,
So
if
I
they
think
put something in there like that, they got to like play it completely out.
No, dude, it's too much Batmobile, and I'm only like 3 hours into it. That's all I'm saying. Whatever. We just went live. Let's get into it. All right, welcome to the Practical Pistol Show. My name is Ben Steger, here to answer your shooting questions. We got a special episode tonight talking about the USPSA presidential elections, which just got really weird today. So this is going to go out right away because we've got some fun stuff to talk about. We got Matt Hopkins is on deck. Dude,
Yeah.
you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready to go crazy?
Yeah.
I'm just going to drop production optics on you and you go fucking nuts. And Tim Herron's here to be the voice of reason and be the nice guy. All right, guys. Here's the recap of today's news, and we'll go into everything in detail. But this is what's been going on the last couple of days. Jack Suber made some videos on Facebook, or they put him on Facebook. Not super helpful for him. Mike Foley has come up with a wall of text, which Hopkins says is good, and I didn't give a shit about it. The big news: Manny is posting now, all over the fucking place. Like, so Manny has broken his silence. He's heard Hopkins' cries for saying stuff, and he's saying it. And Paul Highland is fucking MIA. So that's the news. Does that sound about right, guys?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right, let's start with Jack's videos. So Jack had, if you haven't seen him, I'll put him in the show notes on YouTube. Just click on the video description. I'll link that shit up. But Jack put out some videos. One was just, "Hi, I'm Jack Suber, and I'm running for president." And it was him sitting next to his dog on a porch or something. This is about right, guys?
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Worst
it was what?
With about the worst sound output I've ever heard in my life.
Hey, not everybody has the big boy mics.
It wasn't nearly as good as the second video with the cicadas out. Out volume.
Jesus, man, you guys are brutal. He's just getting his message out there.
If you can hear it.
I could hear it fine. I didn't have a problem hearing it, man. You guys are just being dicks. But what didn't play well is it looks so staged, where it's like, man, you're just fucking trying too hard. Like, you know,
it's like a campaign video, like a.
It was, and that people don't like that stuff. People don't like that. It's like. I mean, I can just see sort of the mental calculus going into this video of him sitting on the porch where it's like, okay, he's in jeans and a nice shirt with his dog next to him, you know. But
the only thing we missed from that was a pipe, an ascot, and a fireplace.
Yeah, but, you know, he doesn't want a pipe or a fireplace because that's, you know, that's too upper class. He's not wearing a business suit. I know he has them, but he's not wearing one because, you know, you want to be, like, in jeans, but you don't want to dress like a fucking hobo either, right? I mean, I could just see all the calculations that went into this. And it's like, I didn't dig it. The second video was informational. Hopkins, you made it through that one, right?
Yeah, I listened to the whole thing.
Well, I listened to the whole thing twice, but I can't. I tried to. You know what I mean? I made an effort. No, I'd be like listening, and then a couple minutes later, I was like, oh, I fucking zoned out. What was he saying? Like, I tried. But Hopkins, you gave it a go. It's 6 minutes long, right?
Yeah, it's 6 minutes long. Jack talks about growth of the sport, what he kind of wants to see happen. It's pretty much what I got. It was a top-down thing where you start at the nationals, it'll trickle down to the clubs.
Well, he says the problem, if the sport shrinks, then we lose revenue, and then USPSA has to cut services.
Yeah, and then raise fees also.
One service that, I mean, if we're going to cut services, stop sending me that email with the bullshit about, like, trap shooting in it or whatever.
And IDPA, dude, that makes no sense.
Can we cut that service?
Yeah, I hope.
How many?
I hope they don't pay for it now, but I'm.
Oh, dude, I can assure you it's not free. All right, so
the funny thing was though, he went on for like 4.5 to 5 minutes about growth. Then he's like, "Well, before any of that, we need to get stuff situated at HQ where we can actually sustain the growth."
It's like,
wouldn't you want to lead with that and be like, "We need to fix this first"?
I don't know.
In order to then get the growth, not all this growth, but first.
All right. Have you guys been following Jack's posts online? Duty Project specifically, he's posting quite a lot. He's posting on Facebook.
I'm trying to keep up with the duty stuff as much as I can.
I'm trying to, but
just post a little bit. It's very sort of. Let me put it this way. It comes off like the video does. So here's a good example. One guy dropped a post on duty. This is a particularly stupid post, by the way. Voting for Suber. He seems to have way more experience in overseeing nonprofits. I don't give a shit how he answered questions on the podcast. Doing interviews isn't the main function of the press. If he doesn't give a shit how the guy answered questions, I have to wonder why he even bothered to listen. Whatever. Okay, so Jack jumps in. I'd like to expand on this. I think it's a fundamental difference between me and the other candidates. Yes, professionally, I have considerable experience working with nonprofit organizations. Not only have I financed nonprofits, but also audited nonprofits, financial management. And he goes on to, talk about all of his experience with nonprofits, which what doesn't play well. Me reading that kind of stuff, it's like if you're paying attention, you know this stuff anyway. You don't need to keep coming in and hitting people over the head with it because I know, I get it, and it just
that's kind of been the gist of it for me too. It's like nothing really is new,
Well, it's not genuine. It's not like interaction. It's like
right. It's almost like a texted response.
Yes.
Almost.
So like the conversation we're having now, like we know what we're going to discuss. But it's not scripted.
Right.
Okay? Jack is coming off as scripted, and I don't like it.
I don't either.
That's just me. I don't dig on it. Hopkins, you have anything to say about that? Because I know you're a real opinionated fucker. Or are you saving it up for Manny?
I don't get that. Why are you guys...
No, because we got to paint you as the bad guy.
That's fine. Whatever.
You're the villain. Every podcast needs a villain, and that's you.
I think Jack has been doing this so long. He's got his things he wants to hit, and he's going to keep hammering back on those.
Well, if you're Jack's campaign manager, which it wouldn't shock me if he has one. I wouldn't be surprised.
He does. He has a person, like a PR person.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, anyway, if you're the PR person, what would you tell him to do right now?
Oh, shit.
Be more genuine would be my thing. Like, enough with the scripted responses. Jesus, be normal. Be a human being. Be one of us.
I've had lunch with Jack. I like Jack. Jack's a good guy.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this bullshit that is being posted right now? Whatever. All right, shall we move on?
Moving on.
Yeah. Moving on. All right. So, Hopkins, I know you liked this probably more than I did. So Mike Foley's response to this, I think maybe some people in the Foley camp are perceiving it as like an attack on him, like he doesn't have nonprofit experience or something, but he responds with a wall of text that he posted on Facebook and on forums talking about his experience in running nonprofit organizations. Hopkins, you read it in detail, I imagine, right?
Yeah. I think some people are worried about his experience with nonprofit organizations and what he's done with them or for them or to them or how he was involved with them. So he basically laid it out, or what he's done over the past few years, and just explained it to everybody. He just made it where anybody can read it. So basically, they have a local gun club that's a nonprofit. Got into some trouble. Mike came on there, and I don't know what role he played in the first one, but basically, he's been on and off the board since the 90s. It looks like.
Okay, so in your mind, did that add to Mike's credibility?
I think it answered a lot of questions that people had that maybe he felt, and maybe a lot of other people maybe felt were unanswered. I know, me personally, that's been like a lot of people's question. Well, in fact, Matt and I had a couple of guys last Saturday had kind of mentioned, like, I'd like to know a little bit more about the nonprofit that he worked for. You know, And that's kind of been everybody's inquiry is, what about this nonprofit that Mike's worked for? What has he done? What hasn't he done? How did he turn it around? At what level did he work at that nonprofit? So I think him kind of laying it all out, I think is actually a good idea. So,
and you read the whole thing?
I did. Well, yeah. Not only did I read it, I shared it on my page as well, on my Facebook page.
Oh, well, just to keep it fair, I didn't share that, but I shared Jack's video where you're sitting next to his dog, and nobody really gave a shit. So I don't know. I'm trying.
A lot of the thing I took from it was a lot of the issues that they had with that nonprofit we're actually seeing with USPSA at this point. Not mirror images, but definitely in the same kind of ballpark.
Is this what you guys think USPSA needs? Is somebody who knows how to run nonprofits? Because I personally don't feel that way. I read that and I'm like, I don't really give a shit. I think USPSA needs maybe a leader on some level, not necessarily somebody who's, the nonprofit element of USPSA as an organization doesn't seem super important to me.
I don't think it really matters. I think some experience with it. I'm sure there's some technical issues with like the running of the organization, but
well, it's value added, sure, but don't we need somebody to kind of push the board?
Yeah, we need somebody to
some
the captain of the ship.
resolution.
I think that's what we're missing right now.
Yeah.
All right. Fuck it. All right. Well, let's move on. The very interesting news of the day. Holy shit, Manny is posting. He has broken his silence.
Finally,
Hopkins,
right?
were you surprised? I was surprised as fuck. I can't believe this.
I can't either. I'm actually still surprised.
Yeah, same here.
All right, so Manny posted some stuff on the USPSA forum. I think right as we're recording this now, in total it's like 5 posts. It's nothing that interesting. And no, I mean I'm just being honest. He's kind of responding to some like side bullshit about our relationship with IPSC, and he dropped a post in a pistol caliber carbines thread that whatever. Maybe the core question on everybody's mind who's following this thing would be, what the fuck? And he didn't answer that question. It was just, where the fuck have you been? Like, what's going on? And I don't think that's an unfair question. I don't think you're throwing Manny under the bus to be like, what the hell? Like, it's been, how long has he been running? Like 8 months now or something?
Yeah,
or 6 months?
Basically since the beginning.
Well, the beginning is what, like 6 months ago? Something like that?
I think it's been a little longer than that. I don't know.
Oh, I think some candidates have announced longer, but I think all the official stuff came out in like January.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That are actually
It's been 6 months in crickets.
Yeah.
And now
Completely
crickets. So I saw Manny's posting on the USPSA forums. I thought this was very interesting news. So I engaged my caps lock, went on Facebook, and I wrote, Manny is posting. Holy shit. And much to my surprise, Manny came and posted on that thread too.
Yeah. That actually, that blew me away more than anything. Wasn't the fact that Manny just kind of broke his silence. The fact that he fucking broke his silence on duty, the duty project.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think I pissed myself.
Yeah. Hopkins, what are you, man? He's on Facebook now.
You're almost speechless.
What are you going to do? You're speechless.
Yeah, I am. Truthfully, I never expected this. I never really thought he would be on at all. And he's actually engaging with people at this point.
Well, here's my feeling, right? And you guys correct me if I'm wrong. If you're going to engage with people, like really engage at this point, you have to answer the what the fuck question.
Yeah, you have to.
That people find credible, and that's not an easy question to answer. I'll be honest.
Yeah, like if he. Yeah, it's an interesting question, no matter what.
No, that's a tough question.
Did he kind of answer it though?
I mean, question. That's like you're in a hotel room and there's a dead hooker, and I'm not saying you did anything wrong, but you got to offer an explanation for that. Like that's weird, right? Yeah. Maybe it's not that bad, but I mean, you got to explain.
Didn't Didn't he kind of offer an explanation though, or did he not?
Well, sort of.
He was like, "Well, I've been out of the country for a month."
Sort of. So this is kind of the rub, and I'll level with you. This actually kind of pissed me off because I got dragged into this. So Manny starts posting, and the guys are like, "Hey, is doing the podcast or what?" And he posted on Facebook. Ben, I didn't hear back from Candace about another podcast. I couldn't make it last month as I was leaving the country for a month, but I'm doing one July 22nd with the Shooter's Mindset podcast. And I'm thinking, I was what the fucking on a couple of levels on this. For one, like any implication that there was like the ball got dropped on our end, no fucking way. The offer was extended. If he's busy or whatever, whatever, get in touch with me. It's fine. We'll slot you in any time, but I'm not gonna like chase you down. So fuck that. And then the other thing is going on Shooter's Mindset, right? That's interesting because none of the other guys have been on Shooter's Mindset. That's correct, right?
Right. Yeah. To my knowledge, I don't think they have.
Now, Matt,
up to this point.
Now, Matt, you've discussed this with Foley, right?
Yeah, I talked to Mike Foley about it. Because he was like wondering how to get his name out there and stuff to people and introduce his ideas and stuff. He said he asked Anthony Cruz in the Shooter's Mindset group, and they basically weren't really interested in doing it about presidential candidates. So, or at least Mike.
Right. Okay. Well, fair enough. So I thought this was weird. I'm thinking, is everybody going on Shooter's Mindset? Did they approach Manny to be on? Like, I know, if Manny just doesn't want to come on my podcast, my feelings will be hurt, of course. But that would be better just to figure that out. So I contacted Anthony, and he didn't mind me putting this answer out there publicly, if anybody's curious. Let me pull up his message here. I said, hey, Manny's going to your podcast. What the deal's with this? And he said, I've been asking Manny Bragg for a long time to come on the show since he's a local Florida GM. My show with Manny is going to be focused on shooting and training, not on the USPSA president election per se. I'm open to running a show with all the USPSA guys running for president, however. And I said, all right, cool. And if he does that, he can come on here and tell us all about it, is where that conversation went. But it sounds like the July 22nd Shooter's Mindset will not be about the election. What do you guys think of that?
Honestly, before you even read that response from Anthony, I was kind of thinking it was probably going to be a lot of that since they're all Florida guys. It's kind of one of those, let's have Manny on the show. He's a Florida dude, just like us. Yay, kind of thing. But as far as a presidential thing, I don't know. I think I don't want to say it's shady on Manny's behalf.
Well,
but it's weird to not do. It's weird to not do one podcast that we've you've kind of worked painstakingly to make sure that the offer was extended to all 4 presidential candidates.
I did. It hurts me. It hurts me when people don't appreciate my efforts.
I think it goes right in line with what that show is.
I'm sorry, too busy, can't do that.
No, it comes off as shady because if you read it in the context of that thread, it sounds like, yeah, I'm doing this other podcast to talk about this stuff. And that's not the case, is what I'm being told on the other end.
Especially when the other podcast has pretty well made it clear. Anthony's made it clear at first he didn't want to do a presidential election or didn't want to campaign.
Now it's getting interesting thanks to us.
Right.
Now they want to talk about it. Fucker.
No, it makes sense though from them. Like they haven't done anything about the presidential race. They've had all basically top shooters and people in the industry, so they do.
I've been on there.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, their show isn't really about USPSA specific. It's about shooters. So
no, it's more a platform for the shooters to go on there and spout whatever fucking bullshit they want to.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is fine for me. I go do that. That's fine. Okay, so the thing did ultimately get resolved with Manny, and he says, "Hey, I'll be happy to do a podcast. This is public, by the way, on the Duty Facebook group." He says, "I'll be happy to do a podcast after July 22nd. Just let me know when." I was okay, cool. July 23rd. That's what I said. And it's on. It's a date. So Manny's coming on this podcast apparently July 23rd, which
a month from now.
That is a month from now. Yes. I'm not really sure what to make of that. What do you think, Tim? What do you make of that?
We have a commitment now, so I mean that's pretty good, right?
God,
What?
it's just so weird.
Now, so that's good, right?
What's good about it?
What's not good about it?
I don't know.
It'd be interesting. I mean, he's definitely going to have some different questions.
Different questions how? Like, I don't even know how to handle it.
Like
he's got to get asked all the same questions as the other guys, obviously.
Yeah, but...
And he's got to get the what the fuck question, too.
Yeah, like, what we're
Exactly.
doing. Yeah.
Exactly. I hate to say, but yeah, there's not going to be any punches pulled. That's...
I mean, just in fairness,
you've been MIA for 6 fucking months, and now this, like, yeah.
He was traveling.
Oh, come on,
motherfucker! I travel constantly, and this podcast goes out every 3 days. God damn it! All right, whatever. Whatever.
I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. I mean.
Dude, it's already interesting.
Another one of the main questions is going to be asked, is he going to do it full time? The other 3 guys already said they're willing to do it full time.
Not all 3 of them.
Yeah, they have.
I don't think Jack's saying that.
Paul, yeah, no.
I thought Jack did say that.
Yeah, he said he would.
Well, no, Jack has that side business that he's still going to do, I thought.
I don't know about that. Jack said he's going to do it full time.
I'm pretty sure he said he was going to do it full time. The question was asked, was he going to move? And he said, no, absolutely not.
Well, I thought he has the consulting business that's still going to be happening. That was my understanding, and if that's wrong, people will correct me in the comments, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said he was going to do it full time. We know Mike said he's going to do it full time, and Paul Highland also said he's going to do it full time.
So if you want somebody full time,
you got 3 out of 4 to choose from.
I mean, that's a valid question that has to be answered.
what?
Like, I guess, are you going to do it full time? And then obviously there's some other questions also. I don't want to put them out there yet, but.
Whoa! Don't keep me in suspense.
Oh, yeah, I got to back on July 23rd.
July 23rd, we get to find out Hopkins' questions. Damn, man, you're looking to ambush motherfuckers.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to ambush them, and nothing's going to be out of line. It's all.
Okay,
straight.
You got to be respectful.
I'm going to be.
I'm not. Okay, and the last part of the news, I guess we would call it that, Paul Highland is still MIA, or he's gone MIA. He rage quit the USPSA for him, which is fine. But I got a really oddball email, which normally I wouldn't address, but since Homeboy's running for president, it seems appropriate. And a guy shot a level 2 match that Paul attended, and then Paul didn't stick around for the awards. And he kind of, the gist of the email is, people were there during the awards ceremony, Paul's name gets called, and they're kind of waiting for a speech or something. And he's MIA, he's gone. And his question is, well, go ahead, Hopkins.
What did this name get called for? An award or like?
An award. An award. Called for an award, but the guy said that he feels like the match director was looking for Paul to give a speech as well, and his sense of it from the crowd was that they were looking for that also. Like I attended a match earlier this year that Mike Foley happened to be at, and during the shooters meeting, Mike Foley had an opportunity to go, say a few words, which, that's totally fine. If I was the match director and one of those guys was there, yeah, say whatever the fuck you want for a few minutes and kind of put it out there for people.
That'd be kind of a good thing, I think.
Yeah, but anyway, the guy's question was, I feel like the question was, the guy makes it clear which answer he's looking for when he asks this. But he says, do you believe that Paul Highland blew an opportunity for himself, not taking a chance to talk to the bloodstream of USPSA, the people willing to spend money to go to level 2 matches, blah, blah, blah. He says less than 25% of the shooters at this match even go to USPSA or BrianEnos.com, and probably less than half of them read front site. So it wouldn't surprise him if the majority at that match would be open to being persuaded. So, what do you guys think about that?
I think he passed. I think he missed
Well,
it.
yeah, obviously, fucker. But what do you think beyond that?
It kind of makes me feel like, then, is he really even still running? I mean,
That's the question.
yeah.
That's a pretty good question, I think, at this point. Is he still...
I mean, did you just give up, Paul? Like, what's the deal?
He's tired of Tim Herron just savaging him every chance he gets.
Tim Herron on the F. Paul Highland bandwagon?
Oh,
You are, man. You've been on that F. Paul Highland bandwagon hard. Right? Or no, I don't know.
okay.
I did make kind of a not very nice comment about his manifesto. I found it. I forgot I made it, but I found I made a not nice comment about it back in January, which maybe wasn't the nice thing to do. But other than that, I've been pretty
What'd you say?
fair. A guy posted Paul's position document, and he's like, "This is a good read." And this is one of these production optics retards,
Jeez.
like a single issue voter. Yeah, he posted that, and then he's like, "All right. By the way, if you support production optics, I'm not calling you a retard. But if you're like all-in single-issue voter and you think production optics is vital for the survival of the sport, yeah, you're a retard." But this is one of the second group of guys. He's like, this position document's a really good read, and I read it and I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, yeah, if you think this was a good read, then you don't value your time very highly. Like, let me be honest about that. There's really nothing in here that's all that interesting.
Well, it was mainly about production optics, and then it was also about like more transparency in the high hit factor stuff for the classifiers, wasn't it?
He wants to also change the classifier system where you can go up and down, which I think
That was good.
it's going to breed a whole new level of sandbagging.
Yes. Well, anyway, the question is he? I mean, doesn't appear that he's actively doing jack shit right now, right?
Doesn't seem like it. I have not heard of peep from that guy.
I will admit, if you look at the straw poll on the forum, and you're getting like 2% of the vote, that's pretty depressing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I might well just pack it in myself. Also, I'd be like, oh fuck this, like this is not worth it. So just drop the mic and get out of there. I mean, maybe that was.
Maybe that's what he did.
Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. But I just went and checked. He's sitting at 1.63% of the vote right now
God.
with a straw poll. What?
What's that, one person?
No, it's more. It's 3.
So there's 3 people that support production optics.
No, because a couple of the other candidates do as well.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even Foley's like, if people want it, we'll have it. And Jack's like, we'll make it a provisional division. And Manny, I don't know. Who knows?
We'll find out in a month.
Maybe.
Yep, sure.
I don't know if it gets that far. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But all right. So now the question is, what the fuck is going on? Like, how is this thing going to play out at this point?
Man.
Does anyone know?
No one knows. I think Manny coming online and semi-engaging with people is interesting. It definitely adds a new dynamic to the race, I think.
It's interesting as shit, but is it like, hey, Manny's respond? I mean, there's a couple ways to read it, right?
So what you're asking is, like, is it sway the vote worthy?
Yeah, exactly. Does it sway the vote? Well, would it persuade you, Tim?
God. Honestly, at this point, no, I don't think so.
Well, there's 2 ways to read it, though. Either it's Manny is responding to criticism that he's not been active and engaged enough, and so people are criticizing him, I think fairly, and he's changing what he's doing based on that criticism and giving people what they want. That's one way to look at it. And the other way is too little too late.
See,
I guess they're not necessarily opposites. They're not incompatible. But how do you feel about that?
I kind of feel it's almost like too little too late. Like you kind of had a window of opportunity, and I think you kind of blew it. So there's two other candidates, with Mike and Jack that have pretty much been able to answer just about, and have been willing to answer just about any and every question that a member's been able to put out there, and had a willingness to be open and responsive with it. Versus Manny's like, oh yeah, well I'm here, haha, joke joke, prod prod, and then it's, oh well yeah, I'm going to be on the podcast in a month.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's something that we didn't bring up that you're posting, or that you're bringing up now, is Manny's tone online was joking.
Yeah.
He's like joking around on Facebook with his post. Is kind of.
Well, I noticed a little bit of that post too. There was like a little bit of like manifesto in one of the posts. Like he wants to.
Yes, he did make a substantive statement.
Right, but.
I guess we should address that actually, because it's kind of the first substantive thing that he's really put
It's the only substance. It's not the first. It's been the only.
Well, no, we had
other than the 3-paragraph page or whatever on
front site, which doesn't really fucking count.
Right.
He did come out and say, ironically, I have no problem answering thoughts on issues and questions. But I will say this, the president, as it's set up now, has very limited power as to what he can do. Everything goes through and is approved by the board. I do believe the current board is the strongest that it's ever been. But they are the people that we have to sell on whatever we want to sell. We, presidential candidates, can give you our ideas and say what we think, or say say what you want to hear. But in the end, it is It is convincing to the board, and then them voting on it with a majority to implement what is best for the organization. He's not a politician, but he knows how to run a business, know how to run a match, know how to manage people, all this stuff. So that, he goes on for a little while, but it kind of sounds to me like he's saying the president can't really do a whole lot.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. There's two ways you could look at that. It's, one is
what's
like,
the second way? Wait, what's the other way?
I'd like to run for president because we can do all these great things. And then the other thing is kind of like, yeah, big fucking deal. So you run for president. Doesn't mean anything. That's to me, that's kind of the attitude I've got, especially with him being completely lackluster and answering any questions has been pretty much like, I don't care. I don't know why you guys are making a big deal over this whole presidential thing. It's not like he has any power to do anything anyway. It's kind of that's kind of how it rubbed off on me.
That's exactly what I took
from it. Well, Hopkins, one thing that jumped out at me there, and you are more involved with the board than I am, but Manny says the board is the strongest we've ever had.
It's an interesting statement.
That's not something I'm hearing from anybody else. I don't know, but that's not something anyone's saying. I
think there's some definite superstars on the board, and I think there's some definite...
Well, you're talking about Area 1, right?
I think Bruce is awesome on the board.
Bruce is very communicative with people. Yeah,
definitely.
I don't know.
I think there's also some people on the board that are just holding the seat.
Well,
it's keeping the chair warm, not actually doing anything.
Well, it's really tough to say that the board's really strong right now, seeing as they had all the drama last year with two guys.
And when two guys walked off
in the middle of a meeting, right?
Right.
They're just boom, go fuck yourselves, we're out.
Yeah.
The whole issue with that also is there's only actually 2 current board members, I think, that are going to be on the next board. 2 or 3, but it's less than half is actually going to still be on the board that's on the current board.
So maybe it's fucking irrelevant anyway, how good the board right now is.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be the same.
Yeah, we're going to have, I think, Area 6 is up for election. Area 1 is run unopposed. Area 3 run unopposed. Area 2 was elected last year as a new one. So he's only
been on the board. Has Area 3 run opposed or unopposed for how many years now?
Who's gonna oppose Sherwin?
Yeah.
Right.
If you're in Area 3, and Hopkins and I had this talk, but if you're in Area 3 and you care about the organization, why the hell would you run against Sherwin?
Yeah, he's doing a good enough job right now, and yeah,
he's doing a great job. It's awesome.
Yeah. Area 5 is a brand new person. Area 4 is a interim guy Phil appointed. We're not sure who's going to run next year for it.
And that's because Troy took over the NROI, right? Or
yeah.
Yeah.
Area 6 is a fucking clusterfuck. There's 4 people running in it.
I don't understand. I don't even begin to understand all of
Area 6?
Area 6. God, that is just a fucking mess.
I like Area 6.
Just because it's full of drama, it's like looking at a train wreck. You can't take your eyes off.
That's what I'm saying.
It does give plenty of conversation.
Oh my God. If it wasn't for Area 6, I don't think this podcast would have lasted as long as it
Have
has.
you guys? It's not since the days of that. Who's that retard that we had posting on duty for a few years? It's not since the days of the guy from your region, Hopkins, who got fired as a match director.
Oh,
it's not for a few years.
I know he's from St. Louis area. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's not for a few years we've heard of anybody being fired as match directors.
Yeah.
But leave it to Area 6 to fill that void for us. Yeah. Just in the last couple of days. Like, who fires volunteers? Who
exactly.
If you get somebody dumb enough to set up the matches, you just let them keep doing it. Why would you stop them?
16-year volunteers. Yeah,
that's it.
They were like 16-year volunteers, weren't they?
Yeah, I know. Like in Atlanta, you go set up a match in Atlanta in the middle of the summer, and you're going to do that for 16 years? Are you fucking nuts? Like, that's crazy talk. But they did it, and it's like, no, you're fired. Like, God, I love Area 6. It's so awesome. It's so fucking funny. Oh, it's so good. All right, whatever. We've drifted this shit way off course. But the presidential elections, is there anything else to say?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Dude, 1 month from it's 1 month from tonight.
Yep.
1 month.
The answers to all the questions you've ever had about USPSA.
Post up on Facebook if you have questions or anything.
Oh my God, you're about to fucking sink Facebook if that's
dude, it's fine.
Yeah, I think you're overestimating the number of people that give two shits about any of this. There's not many.
No.
Hey, you know what's going to happen next? I'm predicting Paul Highland changes his mind and comes on the podcast.
There's no way, dude.
Oh my God.
I would.
That's crazy talk.
There's no way.
Crazy talk. That was a joke, but I'd be funny as shit if it happened. Maybe we can get like an impersonator.
That would be an interesting conversation. Wow.
What are you trying to say, Hopkins?
I'm saying it would be an interesting conversation.
I will stand by everything I've said. Maybe that would be what make it interesting.
Yes, it would.
I've not been unfair to Paul. Have I?
There's been some interesting posts about Paul.
That was years ago. That was years ago.
Yeah, see?
I'm with you on that. Look. If your kind of hobby is traveling or whatever, all right, we'll leave it alone.
Yeah, that's it.
Why are you bringing it up?
Leave it alone.
Bring it up, man. Anyway, those comments I made years ago were not out of line, I don't think.
No.
No, they weren't out of line. I knew you. Yeah, exactly. All right. So nothing else. Man, I can't even wait to see where this thing goes. It's getting fucking interesting.
Yeah.
I love it.
July 23rd, right?
July 23rd. It's a date. Hopkins, you're going to be here?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Tim's going to be here, maybe?
Of course.
Okay. We need someone else.
Yes.
Who should we have?
Anatola.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
You think so?
Yeah.
He's like too reasonable, I feel.
No. Who do you... I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. It should be Antola. He's the right guy. We could get Gaston on again and have him. You haven't seen it yet, Hopkins. Gaston came on, but if we get Gaston on again, like that might be interesting to have a guy from outside the U.S. asking questions about USPSA.
Yeah, that would be interesting. It'd be interesting to hear his perspective on this whole shit show we have.
Oh my God!
Like, he's a USPSA member, right?
Yeah, but he's like apparently the federation in Argentina is kind of fucked up too.
Maybe he'll go right along. I mean,
I don't think he's perfect.
I don't think it'd be anything weird for those guys. Like, like a lot of organizations around the world, a lot of them are fucked up. So
Okay.
whatever.
All right.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for us tonight. Stay tuned. July 23rd is happening.
Awesome.